Um, so a lot of you may know Prox, the veteran of diverse gaming UK, former Huntsman player, former Optic player.
I wish.
You love to see him. I'm pretty sure all you guys want to get to know him. So if you also VOD Squad, if you want to go check out youtube.com/VandalTV, this will be uploaded on there. So let's jump straight into it. So, Mr. Prox, where
Sir,
did where did all this start for you, bro? So, when you was growing up, when did you feel like you was and you had an entitlement to play video games rather than other hobbies?
well, it started really early on for me. I've always been into video games growing up. I mean, going back in I'm 45 years old, so this goes way back to like Atari and like the old Apple computers and things like that. That's when I first was introduced into to video games. Is some of the old Atari systems, and I would could be on those for hours. Where all my other I have three brothers and a sister, so they would off be doing other things. So I would be down there in the basement just playing my video games, um, and that's pretty much just how it started. And then it kind of just blossomed. From there on, it's always been a passion of mine. I'm the only one in the family that really plays video games, but it just kind of just blossomed for me.
Wow. So you was doing this pretty much solo then, growing up.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my brothers would dabble in it from time to time, and I would play. Like we would be sitting downstairs, and we'd be playing pole position on the Atari, passing the controller back and forth
Right.
to each other after each lap. But that's about as involved in video games as they got. I'm the only one that really continued to enjoy gaming.
Okay. So going on from consoles, you now stream on PC as well. That's correct, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you got
stream
some
on pretty much all
problems, and
platforms.
yeah,
Yeah, I have an Xbox, I have a PS4, and then I have a PC as well. So I kind of run the gamut of all of the different consoles. I can do it
so
all.
you're not in the feud. Like, oh, Xbox is better than.
No, I never really got it. I never really understood it. It's like to me, it's more of a preference thing. Yes, there are certain exclusives on some of the other systems. Sure, I can understand that, but I never really understood it. It for me, I kind of like all of them because they all offer something a little bit different.
Well, it's not really exclusive to someone like you has who has all three.
Right, exactly. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't
Yeah.
have to pick and choose. I could just get it all. Why
So
not?
going on from the consoles, what is your favorite console? If you had to pick,
Favorite console?
if you had to pick one console for them to remake in 2020, or is coming out in 2020 or 2021, what would it be?
Like any console? Like
Yeah,
over
just
the
say
years?
they were remaking a console, for 2020 graphics, you know.
Man, I really enjoyed the original Nintendo NES, man, with Zelda and all those games like that. I really enjoyed that console, even though you would have to take out the cartridge and blow on it every once in a while to get it to work.
Yeah.
I really liked those games on there. That was like the one that that's my first console that I really enjoyed playing on was the old Nintendo NES.
And did you like that console for the games, or was that more the console the way it worked?
It was more for the games
Yeah.
that I kind of grew up playing. I mean, that was the one system that I kind of grew up with, and then I kind of just evolved from there. But yeah, it's just because it's the games that kind of really, solidified my passion for gaming was with the old Nintendo.
So moving off from your favorite console, I also have here. This is a really tough one. I'm gonna catch you a bit off guard with this. But what would be your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all
I
time,
know that's like
and
asking, someone like,
that's asking a lot, but I would have to say it would be a PC game. It would be World of Warcraft. It
really?
was,
Okay.
yeah, it's a game that I pretty much started playing about 2 weeks before the first expansion of that game came out. The game has been out for almost 15 years now, and it's a game that I've really enjoyed playing and one I can always go back to and spend hours playing it. A lot of people that I used to play World of Warcraft no longer play it, so it's like I'm kind of running solo there. I kind of gotten some other people involved in the game, But still, it's the one passion video game of mine that I could always go back to and spend hours playing.
So, I know, obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm the owner of Divers Gaming. Prox is a trusted member of Divers Gaming. So I was in your stream last night, and
Yeah,
you were saying that you wanted to play World of Warcraft more.
yeah,
Is
it's
that what you wanted to
because
work into your schedule?
yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing WoW into my schedule a little bit. It's a game that allows me just to kind of I can either play with people depending on if I want to do that or not, or I can play it solo. It allows me the opportunity to just kind of just have a chill stream where I can just chill out, level up, do whatever it is that I want to do, and be able to talk to the community a little bit more. Whereas if you're playing Call of Duty or something like that, you're mostly focused on that game and
Gotcha.
kind of only look over the chat when you die and when there's some downtime, which there isn't a lot in Call of Duty. So I feel a little bit disconnected from the community when I'm playing that game. But it's another game that I enjoy playing. Um, but it's a different environment, it's a different feel. So I like to, in my streams, I like to change it up a little bit.
Nice, man. So, you said there about the two differences in the games. Do you reckon you have to completely change up your game style if you're playing Call of Duty compared to if you were streaming it and then playing it offline? So if you was
Yeah, I
playing
mean,
offline, you'd be more into it, but with stream, do you have to tone it down a little bit?
I kind of have to tone it down a bit, especially Call of Duty, just because Call of Duty can get under my skin a little bit more than other games. I am very competitive when it comes to Call of Duty and things like that. So it's a game that I definitely have to be mindful of my actions and what I'm saying in my emotions because I run off emotion a lot.
Right.
So it is a game that I kind of have to really watch when I'm playing on stream and when I'm playing off stream. It's pretty much no holds barred at that point. I can just do what I want.
Talking of Call of Duty, who's your favorite team?
My favorite team is, well, it's now the Chicago Huntsmen, Optic Gaming. Hector has been a big inspiration of mine when it comes to looking for leadership and team and things like that. Someone who's really invested not only in the brand but in the players and things like that. So I've always kind of admired his work ethic and how he runs an organization and how he's built that team pretty much from the ground up. Which he's no longer Optic Gaming, is now part of
It'll always be
NRG and
Hex's
it'd
update.
always be Hex's kind of thing. But definitely they grew up in my area. Optic Gaming was actually in Schaumburg, about 15-20 minutes away from where I'm currently at. So they're from my area, or at least they kind of grew up with that. And my first real involvement in the competitive scene was watching Call of Duty and
Nice.
watching
Yeah.
Optic with Nade Shot and
Oh
Scump and
Jesus.
all of those guys going way back. But that's definitely my team, and always will be.
that was the segment about a little bit about Prox, growing up, favorite
Mm-hmm.
console, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, obviously, the rent's got to be paid somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming doesn't offer that just yet.
Yeah.
But does your job have an impact on streaming?
Well, it helps me support my passion for gaming because it obviously gives me a pretty steady income when it comes to to being able to have that revenue stream when it comes to certain things that I'm going to need for my stream to make it better. Now, in order to stream, you don't need all of the best stuff, and I definitely don't have that. But my job does allow me the opportunity to to get the things that I need to get when I can afford them. Having two kids and things like that, obviously, all of my
Of course, yeah.
money and stuff goes toward them first, and then anything left over that I can splurge on a little bit does go around either my computer or a game that I want to get or want to stream or something like that, or something I
Diverse
feel can
merch.
make my stream. Yeah, I got got a couple of it on. Actually, I have 3 pieces on
Oh
right now.
damn, he's got it all on.
I got the third, so I got all of them on right now.
Yeah.
That was not even intentional,
No.
but yeah. So if it's something like that, it definitely does help with that. It also allows me, the hours are great. Like I start really early in the morning. I start at 6 in the morning. I'm done by 1:30 in the afternoon. So it allows me that afternoon time to be able to stream. But of course, I can't stream too late because I have to go to bed and wake it up and do it all over again.
Oh
But
god,
it
yeah.
does give me the ability to stream in the afternoon when uh, just so I'm able to be on it more normal hours than overnight hours and things like that.
Um, doesn't really leave you a lot of free time though, does it?
Not a whole lot, which is why I kind of have to build in free time before this whole, coronavirus stuff and the whole thing with the, lockdowns and stuff like that. I didn't stream every single day of the week. I typically took Sunday nights off and all of Monday off
Okay.
just to kind of do whatever it is that I needed to do, whether, spend time, going out, doing whatever. I did have built in days off, which I think is important. But now that there's really not much going on and I'm kind of stuck here in my room, it's giving me the opportunity to stream more than I normally would, but it's still important to take that time, for me. So if I do start my stream earlier, I tend to stop it a little bit earlier than I normally would, just to have that me time to do whatever it is that I need to do.
Oh, great. So it sounds like you got it pretty much knuckled down. It must have not been too easy on you. Um, Earlier we talked about your console and growing up, you'd be in the
Yeah.
basement playing the games and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever look on the TV and say that and think that you would one day be an entertainer? Not just necessarily Twitch, because obviously Twitch hasn't been around for a whole long time.
Right.
But you look on the TV and you think, one day I want to be a news reporter. One day I want to be, someone there in the media industry.
Nah, growing up, it was more like I'm really heavy into sports too. Like sports is another passion of mine. So growing up, I was playing football, I was playing baseball, and doing those. Football would be American football, but
Not soccer.
yeah, not soccer, but American football, where you're tackling people, and because I had a really, believe it or not, growing up, I had a really kind of like aggressive side when it comes to playing sports. I'm a very competitive
Never.
person.
Never. I can't believe
So
it. I can't believe it.
when I got into football, I play football a little bit more angry. I like to hit people. I like to be aggressive. So football gave me that outlet to be able to do that. And of course, being the youngest of three brothers, I was always picked on and beat up all the time. So it kind of comes from a little bit of that. So I was always doing stuff outdoors. I was actually more of an outdoor person than I am now growing up,
Wow.
because we didn't have, Twitch. We didn't have a lot of these, YouTube wasn't really that big of a thing either. So I never really looked at the TV and said, I'm going to be doing that one day. Now, as I got older and got more, as things started to evolve, it's like, yeah, I would love to be able to do that, just because I enjoy the aspect of meeting people and just talking and hanging out and just having a good time, you know, people just enjoying the passion of gaming and things like that. So it became more real later on. But growing up, no, that was never really on my radar.
So, as you know, as you got into streaming, because I don't think we really met when you got into streaming. It was
No,
through I met Prox through Prox.
yeah, you met me through myself.
Yeah, no, we knew of each other for a while, but we didn't really talk, did
Yes.
we?
No, not really. I knew of you, and I knew artwork and things like that
Yeah, because you got
is
your work
kind
done
of
by
how,
Jackal, didn't
because
you?
I got run by Jackal, and,
Yeah.
and I know you guys work pretty closely together and things like that. So I knew of you and I knew of your work. And so when I first started streaming, I was kind of started streaming about two and a half, I would say about 2.5, 3 years ago is when I officially started streaming.
Okay.
And I was kind of doing it solo for a while, and it was kind of just me on my laptop and an Elgato and my console. That was pretty much the roots of it.
Kind of wish I had
Um,
a picture now.
yeah, that was, man, those were, I don't even remember, like, that was my first streams, were sitting on the floor in my living room. That's the layout it was. I used the webcam off of the laptop as my webcam,
Wow.
and things like that. So I pretty much got a lot of the stuff that I needed. Like I was using the not any good microphone. It was just like one of those like PC laptop
Oh
microphones that
my
you can
god.
buy like a Target with a little stick, and like that was my microphone. Like it was a pretty rough setup. But yeah, that was about 2 years ago. And then things kind of progressed from there.
Does it make you appreciate more thinking back what you did have now?
Yes, definitely. What I have now is definitely that it's much more of a better setup than it is now. It's definitely not perfect yet as I would like to see it, but it does definitely work for what I needed to work for now. But definitely helps you appreciate that time where it's that, and kind of looking back then and where I am now. It's you definitely, there's that level of of pride that you can see what you've kind of grown, and it's always important to remember to look back and reflect where you come from and where you are now, and don't forget that little piece of it, because then it could just motivate you to make it a little bit better.
So, you don't want to go back to that old mic, no?
No, not at all. I kind of like
No,
the
you don't
mic
want
that
to
I'm
go with
using
the
now.
stick, and
No, see, I went from the little stick to a blue snowball to now an Audio Technica mic.
whoop,
So
whoop,
I've
whoop,
kind of keep
whoop.
yeah, so I keep growing things a little bit by now I'm on a Logitech camera where it's not the laptop camera anymore. So
So, with every streamer's life, they come to the part of their journey where they have to make themselves an A-list. Some people don't have their A-list. Some people just have their name. How
hmm
did you come to Prox? It's a bit
well,
different to your normal name.
yeah, it's definitely different. And where it actually all started from was actually from World of Warcraft. My first ever World of Warcraft name was Proximo for my character. That was his name. And I got that name from the movie Gladiator. There was a character in there. His name was Proximo, and he was this kind of the actor was Oliver Reed. He actually died during the making of that movie,
Wow.
not just because of old age and just
Oh,
because of
okay. He
natural
didn't do a
causes.
stunt and
Not
break
any
his
no,
neck.
not kind of stunt, anything weird like that. It was just just his time at that point.
Mm.
And I really liked his character, and that's kind of where the name kind of started. And then I just kind of stuck with it because I liked it so much, and you know it's just one of the characters in a movie that I really really liked, and it just kind of fit, and I just kind of evolved it from there.
From Proximo 1104. You lost
Yeah, it
the
was like
Mo
Proximo
1104.
1104, and then Prox 1104, and then I decided I need to drop the 1104 because I'm not in grade school anymore, and I need to get rid of that. Like, what are you doing, man? So I had to get rid of the numbers, which was my birthday actually. So it's actually kind of lame. That's where the 1104 came from. But it's
Okay.
like I need to get rid of that. I need to be
Wait,
a
the 4th
little
of
bit
November or
more.
11th of April?
The Oh, good question. It's the November 4th.
Oh, well, Psycho's birthday's the day after yours.
Yeah.
There's a little
So
fact for you
it's
guys as
like
well.
yeah. So I had to get rid of that. So I wanted to be a little bit more professional. So when I started talking about name changes and things like that, I didn't want to lose the Prox because I think that's always my branding, and
Oh, I
always
definitely
will
love it.
always be a part of me. So I had to keep it. So
It's unique.
I finally dropped it.
It's not
So
like a Pro Gamer 69 or
no, see,
a
like,
Venom
and I got
Shooter
someone
47.
talked like crap to me because that was not like we were all playing Call of Duty and he saw my name was Prox. He's just like, oh, that you're no pro. I'm like, it doesn't even mean that, you moron. Like, come on now.
Hey, we don't
Like,
have
that's not
underscore
even.
X's here.
Yeah, this is not. I'm not Pro X or anything. It's Prox. Now
Yeah.
figure it out.
I
But
didn't
then
think about
again,
that, Pro X.
yeah, yeah.
Nah,
A
Prox is
lot of
better.
people think it means Pro X, and it's like, no,
Hey,
it's
you
not at
are a
all what
Pro
it means.
X as
But
well, so
sure, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna flaunt it, but come on.
you're good on the sticks, man. You're good on the sticks. So, coming back to so we've talked about your previous, we've talked about your up and coming. So talking about now,
hmm
um,
Yes,
you said when you was growing up, you was heavily into sports.
yes.
Um, you don't have much time to play with. Obviously, one of your hobbies being streaming. Do you have any
Right.
other hobbies, or do you collect
Um,
anything, or?
no, I don't really collect anything. What I actually do is I dabble on playing the bass. I have two bass guitars back behind me, and I do dabble in learning songs from different bands and things like that that I like to play. I actually played bass in high school kind of a funny short little story is my brother used to play the drums and one of my oldest brothers used to play the guitar, and they would sit down in the basement and they would just jam with their guitar and the drums. And they're like, well, we need a bass. So they went out and they bought me a bass, and they said, okay, sit here and play one note the entire time while we do other things. So that's all I did was I strummed one note the entire time. It
Chillo,
just
you got a bass.
that's all I did. So that's kind of where my passion for music kind of started, was with
While you're
that.
playing video games in
Yeah,
the basement.
exactly. Hey, we need a
Hey!
bassist. I'm like, all right, so I guess I'm playing bass now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that started. So I do that as another, when I'm off stream or when I'm just taking some time for myself, I'll sit there and just play some music or make up my own stuff or whatever. So that's kind of what I enjoy.
I like that.
Enjoy doing.
I like that.
Yep.
So actually, coming on to this, I feel like you're a bit of a mind reader. What sort of music taste do you have? Like jazz, rock.
Rock. I'm
Don't tell
definitely
me
a
your
rock.
favorite songs. But tell me your music. That's later.
I'm
That's later.
I'm a rock guy.
Yeah.
I enjoy rock.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a kind of a tough question because I really enjoy all kinds of different types of music. There are certain types of music that I just won't ever listen to, and that's kind of like the old twangy type of country music. Not into that, but some of the more modern country music.
Drink some moonshine and.
Some of the more modern country I'll listen to, but twangy like bluegrass stuff. No, I get that.
You want to smoke for an apple?
That. No, not really.
No?
Not about that. No, but I do like some rap. I do like Eminem. I like a lot of his stuff.
Depends more on mood, I guess.
And I do like some hip hop and things like that, but not a whole lot. If there's a one go to genre, it would be alternative rock kind of a feel.
Okay, cool. So moving on from more current. Also, guys, at the end, if you guys have questions, I'll be reading them out to Prox if I haven't already answered the questions here. So we're going to be talking a lot about, because obviously gaming isn't just gaming streaming isn't just gaming without networking.
Correct.
And last year I had a super smart, knowledgeable guru king, Mr. Riven, MDR. I'm not sure if you know him.
I know him. Yeah, I know Riven. He's a good dude.
And we talked a lot about networking. I mean, the guy.
Yes.
I can't thank the guy enough. All of my knowledge is from him. So I like to get other people's takes on it and how they do things.
Sure.
So how many communities have you been a part of?
I've actually only been a part of 2 official communities. My first ever was with Team MZ. Was the first community I
hear that a lot.
So Team MZ is actually really good, and I actually got pretty close with the MZ herself and Wildy Bear, who also helps run that team, and they're a great team. I think it was why I left that team. I was actually a moderator for Team.
Oh, so you're quite high up.
I was quite high up in there, but it came to a point where I felt I couldn't fulfill my duties as a moderator because I was actually taking a step back from streaming at that time. I actually took about a year off of streaming just because of personal reasons and things like that. It came to a point where I couldn't dedicate the time that I wanted to, and it was unfortunate because I really had some momentum going in my channel at the time that I left, and I hated to have to give it up, but I felt that I couldn't fulfill my role as a moderator. So I went to them and said, you know what, I'm going to have to take a step back. I'm not going to be able to really do this. And I just wasn't in a good mental place at that point. And I needed to take some time for myself to try to figure things out. So I actually took a step back, took a year off, and eventually, left the team under, just as my own personal decision. I felt like I couldn't give to it, and I didn't feel right by staying in it. Just because I couldn't give back, because I think it's very important to give. If you're in a community, it's very important, I feel, to give back to that community, because that's why you're all there. You're kind of all there to grow together.
So not just having a status as a moderator or a member and just sit there. Yeah,
I didn't feel like that was right of me to. I can't fulfill or put in the effort, to help other members within the team, even not being a moderator. in the team. If I don't feel that I could fulfill that, then I don't feel it's right for me to be in there. So I kind of just said, you know what, I need to take some time off. So I left that team and just kind of took some time off. And then when I slowly started getting back into it, that's when I, found Diverse and found some interest there, some mutual interest between us and Diverse, or me and Diverse. And that's when I became a part of Diverse and been here since then, since about, I believe, February or like mid-February.
Talking about teams,
Yes.
talk to me about Diverse. I know you don't talk to me about Diverse. As you guys know, if you just
Yeah.
join in, I am the owner of Diverse. Prox is a member of Diverse, just for share that out there.
Yeah.
Talk to them as if you're talking to me.
Okay. Well, I knew of Diverse really through Jimbo. Jimbo, Samson, another, member of Diverse, has been a part of Diverse for a little bit now. So I kind of knew of the team through him, and he's kind of one of the guys that I have followed and supported pretty much for a long time. I mean, I've been in his channel, I've been a moderator in his channel for, I think it's getting close to 2 years now.
Wow.
So I found Jimbo kind of earlier on in my streaming career, and he's kind of just a guy that I first was just kind of in his community a lot, just kind of watching. He's just a real funny guy, just a real entertaining
Really
guy
nice
to
to bounce off, any.
Yeah, just a really cool dude, and kind of our friendship is kind of built from his channel. So when I started to get back into streaming, and I know that he took a little bit of time off. We both took a little bit of time off, and then when I started to get back into to hit it, hard, that's when I found Diverse. And I knew a lot of the people actually in Diverse already. Like I knew Wonder Woman, I knew Jimbo, I knew a lot of the people that are that are already a part of the team. So it's like it just kind of made sense for me to be a part of the team. I'm like, this is a team that I feel very comfortable with. I feel very comfortable with the people that are currently in it. And I feel like I'm ready now, getting back into streaming and things like that, that I could put forth the effort to not only support, myself, but also support members within the team, which again is very, very important. It's a part of networking, and I think networking as a smaller streamer is so necessary in order just to kind of get a foothold within this big wild ocean of streaming that we have. Everyone wants to do it, especially now. People have a lot of time on their hands, so it's very important
Facts.
right now. It's very important right now to network, and a lot of the members of Diverse give me that opportunity to be able to do that, and I love being out there supporting members of the community, just being in their channels, being even if it's just lurking and kind of trying to help out with their viewer count to get them to affiliate and things like that. Like I get no better rush than someone getting that email they are not affiliate, and I know that I was part of making that happen. That's awesome to me.
Yeah, you like that?
I love it. I always feel like I'm a better supporter than I am a streamer. I don't know about that, but I always
More
feel
of a
like I'm a
friend.
better.
You're a great friend.
Yeah, it's like I really like I care about the people that I watch. I care about the people that I kind of watch people um, that it's like I know how I would kind of share that with them, and I do it. It's like I'm not in there because you'll see a lot of people go into other people's chats and they'll be like follow for follow. It's like I hate that because it's like once you follow them, they're gonna unfollow you, and it's like I don't do any of that stuff. If I'm gonna follow you, it's because I want to, and it's because I see that you're in my stream and I enjoy your content. I'm not gonna follow you just because you're giving me a follow. I don't work.
So
That's not networking. A lot of people think that that's networking, but
that's actually going to my next question. Actually, before I do, for those of you who don't know, Diverse is sort of like an array of different members who I have recruited along the years. A lot of them people from different teams, different communities, different stages of their careers. Small streamers, big streamers, shy people, confident people, and I've taken them, not they're from a broken community, and given them somewhere where we can concentrate on each one. So we've got Raz, who was the owner of MKG Militia Crew Gaming. You got Prox, who came in from Jimbo, see a potential, picked him up really quick. Wonder Woman, who was a part of Team MZ and Merchant Squad and all the DCG and all that sort of thing. she had high potential, just getting treated like shit. And here, she can fulfill her potential. You know, she has a great role. And just all the other people who are part of it. And that's why we're all diverse. So going on to, I think you answered pretty much all of these networking questions. So I'm just gonna go through them anyway. So
yeah, go ahead.
Working
Yeah,
it
there
off
might
a
be
little bit.
something I can touch on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what do you think are the importance of communities? Not the team. What's the importance of the communities to you?
Well, I think communities. It depends on how the important streamer. I think are very important. Not only like teams, but communities themselves. When you're a streamer, you are building your little community, and I think we. I'm very protective of the people in my community, whether it be within the team that I'm a part of, or even in my own channel. I'm very protective of my channel, not only because it's my own personal brand that I'm trying to build, but there are people that are in my channel that are there for any different reasons. One, they like the game that I'm playing. Two, they just want to hang out with me, or they just want to lurk and kind of just feel that they're a part of something. But I think it's very important to grow community, and as a streamer, you are the kind of leader of that community. Yes, you're an entertainer and things like that, but I think you also have to take more of a proactive role in being a leader within that community to be able to make it grow and just be make people feel safe. You don't want anyone coming into your stream feeling not comfortable, and I can't stand that if someone's not feeling comfortable in my stream. It's like, that's my channel, they're there to watch me, and I need to protect them.
You can sort of tell if it's like robotic as well, like a community sort of like they feel it's like mandatory. I know a lot of people, they lurk and diverse, but it's never mandatory. Every time when we do the
Yeah,
interviews, every time when we do the forums, it's sort of like you never have to go into other people's streams, but yeah, everyone still
right,
does.
right.
So touched on the communities, very close. What is your
Mhm.
single definition, just in a couple of sentences, your definition of networking to you? How do you work around it?
Networking to me can mean many different things to a lot of people, but to me, it really just means if I, is getting to know other people within the community that, either share similar interest with either, the games that they play, or the type of, streams and things that they're running. I think it's very important to be able to really connect with streamers who are like that, and as you build relationship and as you build rapport, you can really help both of you. I think the problem right now is it's a really competitive environment. People look at it, whereas if they feel that if they're networking, then they're giving away their viewers to somebody else, or I think, why can't we share that? Why can't we grow together? I know a lot of people in diverse gaming have a lot of same viewers, and that's where we kind of share those viewerships, and as we grow as a
And
community,
that's how
it
it
just
should be.
really helps, and that's it really helps out. And I think there's way too much competitive feeling out there. Yes, are we all competitive? We are, because we're in gaming, and gaming is competitive, and that's what it is. But why can't we have the best of both worlds, where we share that and we just grow as a community? I mean, I just don't think there's any question that that's a good thing for everybody.
Well, I think you answered that really, really well. So with networking, like you said, there's loads of different ways of doing it. You do it on social media, it's word of mouth. You can do
Mm-hmm.
it in your stream. You can do it in YouTube videos. You can do it, through letters.
Yeah.
What's your opinion? So obviously, I've had your definition of. I now know your importance. So what's your opinion? So you can be biased about it. What's your opinion on social media? Because
Well, I think
obviously,
social.
if you guys don't know, sorry for interrupting. If you guys don't know,
No.
Prox been in the team since February, and he actually got member of the month, his first month in the team, through Discord interaction, streaming, content creation, and social media. He had the most hours streamed in both February and March. He is almost fifth place on our Discord in over a month. And as soon as anyone tweets out, he's already on it. So it'll be interesting to know what your opinion is on social media.
My opinion on social media is twofold here. Now, for networking and getting your there and your team, it's very good. I like it a lot. I think it's really, really important to stay active on social media because it's really easy to get lost on people's timelines and things like that because people follow a lot of people. So as retweets go out and your tweets go out, you know, there's always it's a constant flow of things on your on your timeline. So it's really important to stay active, not only on Twitter and other social medias, but if you're a part of a team, being active in their Discord and making sure that your name is consistently out there is very important. Now, the one problem I do have with social media is the fact that it can be very toxic. It can be a very toxic environment, and
Preach it.
unfortunately, it's kind of the environment that we're in where people don't feel the consequences of the things that they say on social media. They feel like they can say whatever they want and they don't need to see the repercussions of whatever it is that they're saying because there's not that face-to-face interaction. So while I feel that social media is important, I also think it's very important to stay professional on social media. Yeah, everyone has their times where they can just kind of vent a little bit, and that's okay.
That's just them,
But
though, right?
not, yeah, that's just everybody, but not getting into those battles with somebody because they said something and you don't like what they said, so then you go back at them, and then there's this back and forth of just
That's the
people spewing
professionalism, though, isn't it?
just a bunch of, yeah, it's just like you're still building your brand. You're still building your brand on social media as well. So you don't want to do anything that one either hurts your brand or even think about it the team that you might be a part of. I don't want to put diverse in a bad light either. So I'm not going to say anything that might look bad on them either. So a lot of people forget that nowadays, and they feel that they can just type and say whatever it is that they want to say without feeling that those repercussions of it. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is bullying on the internet. I take that stuff very seriously, which is why I feel very protective of my community when I'm streaming and things like that. And if I see any of that stuff going on, I just have a zero tolerance.
Well, you're a passionate guy.
Yeah.
You're very passionate, very through the emotion side of it. Now, going on to this bit, I did ask Prox before the stream if there's any questions that he didn't feel comfortable talking about, and he felt like, regarding his own feelings, he wanted to let other people know um, who are going through the same thing. If you don't know, Prox is a father. He pretty much is a full-time streamer, 130 plus hours every month streamed and working full-time job. Um, what's the balance like, bro? How difficult is
It's
it?
tough. It's a tough balance. I have two kids. I have one of my kids is now a junior in high school. He's going to be going into his senior year in the fall. And then I have he's in sixth grade right now, and he's going into seventh grade. So they're very much part of my life. I see them as much as I can. Unfortunately, right now with everything that's going on, I don't get to see them as much. Just because I live with I also live and I help take care of my dad, who's 83 years old. So I currently live with him, but because of everything that's going on, I'm now sacrificing not seeing my boys. So I am here a lot. But I'm very much active in their lives. I try to go to I do pretty much go to every, type of extracurricular event that they have. My one son is in swimming. He's also in water polo. They're both in the band. So it's like if there's a band concert going on, I go to it, sacrifice that time streaming to go be there for them.
Easily, any
So
day.
they are my first and foremost
Yeah,
is always my kids. If I can't stream too freaking bad, I'm going to make sure that my boys,
I
I
love that.
see my boys as much as I possibly can. So they're first and foremost. And then it comes to taking care of my dad, making sure that he's all good. And of course, the job is the function of having that stability, that income coming in. So all of that takes precedence over streaming. If there's anything else left after that, it definitely goes into to the stream, which I do make an effort to try to stream as often as I can because I believe consistency is is the key to streaming and making sure that you stay consistent because you want to build that momentum in your channel, and streaming is all about momentum and making sure that you carry that momentum on. Once you start to kind of go off of your schedule or kind of go off your people don't know what to expect. People don't know when you're going to be live. He's usually live, now he's not. Find somebody else to watch that's at that time. So I think that staying consistent is very key to making sure that you're growing your channel properly. So I try to do that. But if I'm not going to make a stream when I normally would, I make sure I put it out on Twitter, or I let somebody know, hey, I'm not going to be live today because of this going on. I have to go watch my, my days when I am working can be very long. Like if my boy is like has a swim meet or a water polo game, well, I work at 6 in the morning. His water polo game starts at 4 in the afternoon. I pretty much go from work to the water polo game, and then it's about 45-minute ride home for me. So I'm not getting home till like 8 o'clock at night at that. So that's how long I've been away from. There are times where when he's in the marching band, so he'll have a football game that he'll have to perform at. Well, that game starts at 7, so then I'm pretty much starting my day at 6. The football game's at 7. I'm not going home because I don't have that much time to be able to drive all the way home to come all the way back to then. It's just a lot of too much back and forth. There's days I'm not getting home till 10 o'clock at night, but I still try to make it to a point where if I miss a day of streaming because of other things, I try to make it up on a day that or I just try to stream whenever that I can. Even if it's for 2 hours, 3 hours, if it's not going to be a long stream, so what? I still try to get out there.
So what you telling me, Mr. Prox, is you have a full-time job that you've been at for 11 years.
Yes.
You have two children.
Yep.
Look after your dad.
Yes.
You stream over 100 hours every month.
Yes, I try to.
Balancing your mental health.
Yes, that's difficult as well.
Having a missus, a lady friend, and you can still say hello in Discord. What does that say to a lot of people out there?
I at least
How
try
do
to
you do
that.
it, my friend? How do you do it?
I at least just try to say good morning to everybody and get up out of bed, pick up my phone. Good morning, everybody. Start my day.
Start your day.
And then I get to work. I look at my phone to see if anybody said anything, and then I said, "Hey, what's going on?" I just try to do little things throughout the day to let the team know.
That's difficult to people.
I'm
isn't
here.
It? That's really difficult to people. Now I'm playing.
It's how I view the team and how important I feel it still is to be an active, part of that community. See, when I do something, if I'm going to be a part of something, be a part of a team or something like that, I personally, and this is my own personal feeling, is I feel like I have to be active in that community to really.
Well, it's consistency, like you said.
Yeah, it's consistency, but it's also like it's a pride thing. It's like I take pride in my team. I take pride in my channel.
Well, you want it to be real. You don't want it to be stale.
Yeah, so if I'm just sitting there and I'm not doing anything in Discord and I'm just silent and things like that, it's like, what am I doing to the team at that point?
I like that.
I'm not being very productive. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything to myself. Because I'm in the team for a reason. I'm not in the team just to be in the Discord. I can be in thousands of Discords and things like that, but if I'm not doing anything in them, then what's the point? Why are you there?
I like that. I like that mentality, man. So we're gonna move a little bit away now from the whole professional side of it. So if you guys have had your notepads out, the life of Prox and the knowledge of Mr. Guru. We're going to be talking about my segment now of the podcast as we're coming to the end of it now, unfortunately. Can't believe it's been nearly 50 minutes already.
Wow.
We're going to be talking about films now. You guys know that I love films. Okay? Sometimes on the podcast, a lot of people don't have favourite films. Or series. But Prox, you've given me 3 films here. 2 quite similar. And then one completely blown out.
Yes.
Blown out blue. Do you wanna talk me through these 3?
Yeah, I just thought of one as we were going to podcast. There would be a 4th one on the list, and that would be Titans. It's a movie about American football back in the day when there was segregation within the United States. And things like that, and about how this high school was merging one high school with another, and one was an all black, and then an all white school kind of coming together, and it's a true story about that football team. So that would be kind of 4th on my list. But the other ones would be Top Gun, The Patriot, and then my all-time favorite movie would be Gladiator.
Okay, cool. Obvious reasons the Gladiator from the
Yes.
Prox is along that with your branding. All the
Yes.
Gladiator things you play a lot of Odyssey. You like that sort of
Mm-hmm.
time. What is it about that period of time that you like
It's
so
just
much?
the history. I've always been. I'm kind of like an old comes to history and things like that. I always kind of gravitated to like Civil War, Revolutionary War, and even going further back than that, like in the Roman times, things like that. It's just so different from how we live is why I think I really enjoy it, because it's just a totally different side uh, of history that I don't ever get to really see, because I'll never really see that unless I go to those places. I can kind of you know kind of get a feel for it, but it's one thing that I'll never experience. But it's just so interesting to me how that side lived. It's very brutal, back at that time. Just kind of a lot
Very
more
different
violent
till
than,
now.
than it is now. Just very different. And I think that's what kind of just really interests me, is just how different it is and how people back then lived. Just
Well,
so interesting.
I like the attire. The little mini um,
Yeah.
the kilts. They're not kilts, are
Yeah.
they? They're like the bloody what the men wear. Them bloody skirts with the
The
with
skirts,
the metal plates on
like the
them,
little
and
toga look. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's just all of it is just it's so cool and so different. I know Top Gun is definitely different than the other two. Uh, and I just like it because it's action, and it's action related. And watching that movie with my brothers in the movie theater growing up kind of made me want to be a fighter pilot. Growing up,
Okay.
I swear I was going to go into the Air Force. I was going to be a pilot, and when I did in growing up, the one hobby that I did have growing up was building like model airplanes and things like that, because I'm really into airplanes and fighter jets and things like that. And that passion kind of still is there. I still love just sitting down and watching. I can watch documentaries about airplanes and aircraft and things like that.
Oh wow,
So that's
interesting.
definitely another interest of mine.
Oh, didn't really know that about you, bro.
Yep.
So with series, you don't really. I shouldn't really put. I feel like me putting series on there is a bit of a stab in the chest because you don't really have the fucking time. If I'm
I
honest,
really don't. I mean,
no.
there's definitely a lot of things that I would like to be able to watch. I just don't have the time to watch them. It's like I
Or invest so many
I
seasons.
mean, exactly. Like the one series that I'm kind of keeping up with is like Ozark on Netflix. I love Ozark, but it's like you can watch Ozark in a day and a half, and now you have to wait another year for
Oh fucking
the
hell.
series. It's like, okay, well now I have to wait a year and a half before the next one comes out. It's like, so I don't typically have the time to watch any kind of series. It's like I listen to my music, and it's like I have the movies but even then, it's like I don't ever really get to really. If I do go out on movies, it's usually on the weekends. I don't have my boys. That's what I'm usually doing on Sunday. Is I'm going to a movie and taking my time then. That's what I'm usually doing, but I don't get to do that right now because the movie theater is closed, and I don't really get to go anywhere. So now
Bloody hell.
it's all streaming.
So we replaced the top five series with music
Yes,
because you're a big music guy.
yes.
Do you remember the three that you put? Do you want to run me through them?
Yeah, the three that I picked it would have to be like Silver Sun Pickups is like an alternative kind of rock band from California. I really enjoy them a lot. I was actually supposed to go see them live in concert for the first time in March, but unfortunately that concert got postponed, and now we're waiting for a new date for them to announce to see, because of the whole Corona thing. So I love going to concerts, and I love live music, and
I
so
love that.
I was gonna go see them for the first time, but unfortunately that didn't
You
happen.
have like the name written across your chest. And you're like, oh my god, yeah.
We were supposed to have like a meet and greet, have I bought P pass for that particular
Yeah.
concert. So we were supposed to like meet the band and have like a little. They play like a small 3-song set for anybody that has these VIPs
Wow.
prior to the actual concert itself. So you get your own little private 3-song concert. So like I
Wow.
went all out for these tickets, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But hopefully that still does. The other two bands that I really, really enjoy, Benjamin, and my all-time favorite band is
Sorry, can you just
Chevelle.
say
And
it
I've
again?
been
You might cut out. What was that first? That
Breaking Benjamin
yeah,
is the second one, and then my all-time favorite was Chevelle.
Chevelle, and obviously Breaking Benjamin is an alternative, more modern sort of rock. Um,
Yes.
and Chevelle is more along the lines of the pickups in a way.
Yeah, Chevelle is more of a. They're a little bit hard
Yeah.
pickups, but Chevelle kind of. They've been a band for. They're going on making their. I think they're making their 10th album.
Wow.
They're in the process of finishing up their 10th album, and they've been around a long time. They've been around since the late like 1999, 2000s, somewhere around there. So I kind of grew up listening to Chevelle, and one of my buddies from high school was actually the bassist for Chevelle for a long time. He recently have now left the band to spend more time with his family and things like that. So they're a three-piece. They're a three-piece band, and they're just really, really good.
Sorry, I was just looking at the chat for a second there and not laughing at you.
Yeah, I kind of
I wanted you to
look
say
over.
Breaking Benjamin because Psycho really, really, really loves Breaking Benjamin.
Breaking Bench. I saw them. I think my concert that I went to recently was 3 Days Grace, Chevelle, and Breaking Benjamin all played the same show, and I was in heaven. I saw Breaking Benjamin live for the first time this
You've
past
seen him
summer.
live?
Yeah, I saw him live for the first
Wow.
time this past summer. Well, see, what I like to do is I like to travel to different. Like, I never go to concerts in Chicago. I always go to concerts um, around the different countries. I like to experience other areas, and I love road trips and things like that. So I've seen Chevelle now 3 times. One was in Columbus, Ohio. Another time was in St. Louis, and most recently, this past November, I was in Orlando, Florida, to see Chevelle.
Wow.
So I try to travel around just to kind of see them because I like seeing them in different areas. Actually, I saw them also in Milwaukee, so I've seen them 4 times now. But yeah, it's one of the things that I love doing is traveling. So when I have like little periods of time where I'm off of streaming because I'm going out of town, it's usually because I'm going to a concert.
Fucking hell. Honestly, I did not know that about you. I did not
Yeah.
know. Damn, he's got a
Hmm.
different side to him. So, um, wow. I have a couple of questions that aren't on here at all.
Sure.
Um, uh, okay. So I always ask someone a question from doing a lot of research. So I've had people on there like Ryvan, who's an absolute guru with content creating and helping others. So he had questions like that. Daiti is a circus performer, so he
Hmm.
had questions like that. So with you, I know that you're really insightful and uh, you know a lot about this sort of subject. But what is to you your meaning of life?
And that can be that's it's a difficult question, but it's just being is kind of how I view just I kind of like live in the now, but I also don't forget your past it and kind of giving back. I'm someone who really is passionate about just helping other people. Like if I could see somebody else succeed over myself, then that's what I enjoy doing. It's about being a kind person. It's about just being helpful, about being just an overall nice person. So if I could see somebody else succeed, then I'm going to do, what I can to help that person fulfill whatever goal that they have. I love seeing people fulfill their own personal goals more than I like fulfilling my own, which is it can be a negative thing too because there's a really quite of a balance there.
Well, I guess it's kind of fulfilling
And
your dream as well because you're helping others.
exactly, I'm all about helping others, so it's just like if there's one meaning that I could put on it, it's just being a kind person, just being a helpful person whenever I can. If I have the ability to help somebody out, whether it be for whatever it is, someone that can count on me to be there, either to be a friend, to be whatever, they need me to be, then that's what I'm going to do for, for that particular person. It's just, it's kind of one of my things that I live by.
So that's your personal meaning for
Mm-hmm.
your own life. What do you
Yep.
think to an ordinary human being put on this earth?
That's difficult because
Why do you think
everybody's,
we're here? We're getting a bit deep, but why do you think we're
well,
here?
why we here is
What's the purpose of a human?
that's a tough one, and unfortunately, it's a situation where I think everybody views that a little bit differently, their own purpose.
Yeah, see, this is your
It's
your version.
it's whatever purpose that they have, it can be whatever it is, but I think ultimately we're here to make the world, you know a better place. And unfortunately, a lot of people have different views on what making it a better place actually means. But it's a really difficult question because everyone's past, everyone's upbringing is different in how they grow. As we can always constantly evolve, and I think that's one of the things that I kind of just lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was.
So I asked that question purely because I have my own, because I'm an A-list, and A-list is someone who doesn't believe in God, but believes the words he says.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and there's
Well, I'm
something
very
in there's something
yeah.
in a verse which says
Mm-hmm.
which is what someone had told me, not from any religion point of view, because I don't believe in it. That's what an A-list is. But what a good friend told me is he wasn't put on this world. He wasn't put on this world to pay bills and work a 9 to 5 job. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the cavemen. They didn't wake up in the morning and say,
Yeah.
you got to live a little.
Right.
So I live by that every single day. I still work. I still help people out, but I wasn't. That weren't my main purpose. I'm not gonna be born, work a 9 to 5 job, pay bills, and then die. You know,
Right.
some people do have that.
Yeah. There's some people definitely that is a thing, and I don't feel that I'm built to work enough.
Oh, you're doing everything. I
It,
feel like you need,
I'm trying to do what I can. That's just
and you
that
have
nine
time
to
to make your
five
bed.
job. Yeah, I do. I make it every morning actually before I start work.
I heard something about that as well. That a Navy SEAL said, if you feel like you've not done enough, the first obstacle to overcome every day is making your bed.
Yep, I do
Um,
that every morning before
so
bed.
to change it up a little bit,
Yep.
that's just a little insight of what no one knows, a little bit of an extra. We are pushing an hour now, so this is really interesting to me. We're going to go through the questions from the chatteratus. Now, I have two questions actually for you. The chat actually has
Okay.
two questions. This one's from Gunner. I
Okay.
don't know if they are still here, but Gunner asks, "Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?"
Probably here. In 10 years' time. Well, let's see. My
Planet
first thing
Earth
I
is
always
not
think about.
Planet Earth is not an answer.
No, the first thing. No, I know it's not. No, the first thing I always think of whenever I get these kind of questions is I always relate it. Okay, where are my kids going to be in 10 years? Because that is something that I have to think about. Like, okay, Cameron's going to be, oh geez, 10 years, he's going to be 28, so
Wow.
he'll be doing his own thing at that point, and then Carter will be, 28, he'll be 24. So it's like, okay, well, my responsibilities with them will not
Okay,
end,
now that's a bit
but
scary to think about. I
yeah,
feel we're just scared prox.
exactly. Like I'm like, oh my god, in 10 years, well,
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna be, unfortunately, I don't know if my dad will make it that. So it's
yeah.
like, um, there's so much. See, the problem with that question is there's so much to my life that I kind of have so much that I have to kind of take credit for. I'll probably still be working at my job in 10 years. I won't be retired yet, so I'll still be doing that. I know that one thing that always stayed consistent maybe is gaming and things like that. So I'll probably still be doing that in 10
Mm.
years. That ain't going anywhere.
The
So if I'm
guitar,
still
you still got to be
gaming,
jamming out.
yeah, I'm still be jamming out, still be enjoying my music. So those have always been the constant. So within 10 years, I'll still be probably doing that. I'll still be going to concerts. I hope to still be as active as I can, because while I'm 45 years old, I'm kind of an ancient person when it comes to gaming. Being as old as I am, those have always been a passions of mine, and I don't think those will ever.
So yeah, Gunnar, I hope that answers your question. And he said, coming from another dad, I feel that.
Yes, sir.
Respect. This is another question, I believe is from Pizza. There wasn't much context to it, but he said, what are your current main, or I'm guessing, what are your current main goals?
Current main goals is just to kind of continue being the best father that I can to my two boys, and then after that, it's just making sure that my dad is taken care of, and he's making sure that he has everything that he needs. And then after that, it's growing my brand, growing my community, and helping Diverse grow as an organization.
And have
That's
and have
really
the world's biggest hat collection. It's just the things
yeah,
that are
yeah.
essential.
I got hats over there. I got
There
my
you go.
bears, my other hat on my bedposts.
There you go.
But it's just like I always wear hats on stream, and it's kind of a sad story as to why I started doing that. But I always wear hats on stream, although I didn't the other night. And
Hey guys, if you want to know why, you can always head over to twitch.tv/DiverseProx.
The first thing Jimbo came into my stream for viewers in my stream, and you said that you didn't see my hat. That was the first thing that jerk noticed. Was,
I know.
You're not wearing your hat. I'm like, seriously?
Question mark,
That's the first thing you noticed?
Oh, for God's sake. I looked at it and I was like, only Jimbo.
Yeah.
Only Mr.
And that's what I said to him. I'm like, only you would be the first one to notice. And then mention it in chat.
But yeah, so we're on to the last bit, unfortunately, peeps. And as a lot of you guys know, if you've been on the show, you've been in the podcast. This question is for all the up and coming content creators, streamers, YouTubers, music artists, who have early fame and it gets to their head a little bit. When they feel like streaming's easy, they're going to be blowing up instantly. What's your main piece of advice to them to stay humble?
Well, it's definitely not an easy thing. To stay humble, you really kind of just need to, like I was kind of pointing out before, is kind of just remember where you came from. Remember those early days, where I was sitting on my living room floor with that little stick of a microphone, and just know that you always have to know that the reason you're there is because the community that you have built. You're at the stature that you're at because of them. You wouldn't be anywhere if you didn't have anybody watching you, or if you didn't have anybody supporting you. You wouldn't actually be there. So remember who you're producing that content for, and always have that kind of sitting there, that you're there because of them. So make sure that you protect that, and you just owned that particular little piece, and you are the leader of that community. So make sure that you remember that, and don't feel that you're ever above them, because of them.
I love that, man. I love that how I ask this question every time to people, and they always give me something different. And then at the end of the year, I put them all into like a little mix so they play over and over again. Unfortunately, guys, that is the end of the first episode of VandalLive. Really, really short notice for Mr. Prox. Now I'm going to go through some of what the chat said. I noticed something earlier what Oz said. I wish he was my real dad. A lot of people want you to be their dad by the looks of it. I love Prox. He should be president. Oh yeah. Has Prox ever done this before? He seems like he has.
I've done one other podcast, Team MZ. I was on the Team MZ a while back, a couple years ago. I was on their podcast. So yeah, I was on Team MZ's podcast.
So how was it speaking to me tonight? How was it?
This was pretty good. I mean, they run the chill, very conversational, and I think that's how podcasts should be. Should be run. So it was fun. I had a blast doing it.
I appreciate it, man. Sure. But yeah, I really do. Pizza, I hope that answered your question, by the way, about his goals. I did see there. He said that's the best goal to have, looking after your family and such. So like I said, you're a natural beauty. Great podcast. Gunnar, I appreciate you coming by. Wanda, thank you so much. I really thank you everyone for hosting the channel as well. That's very helpful. tweeting it out and such. I had a fantastic time. If you guys haven't already, go check out Prox at DiverseProx on Twitter, Twitch, everything's DiverseProx, because
all social media is diverse.
There you go. That's networking right there. Have the same name for everything.
Yep.